Peace and blessings, everyone. We are back. I'm excited. It's been a long couple months, maybe. I don't know, but we back, y'all. So I am your host, Imani Muhammad, the Art of Living show, right here, live and direct from Portland, Oregon. I'm really excited about today's show. For those of you that don't know who I am or what the show is about, it's in simple terms, the art of living. My goal in life is to be in relationship with humanity and relationship with people from all walks of life. But more importantly, folks that like to deposit positive vibes, positive energy into the next man or woman, brother, sister, child. You know what I mean? Just sharing good vibes, right? Not everyone deserves a platform. Not everyone, I think, has an opinion that we all need to hear. But those of us that do, it's time to make sure that we have a avenue and a way for us to converse. And at the end of the day, drop seeds of information so that we can be better human beings on this planet. Okay. So the Art of Living show actually came up out of my book that we'll talk a little bit later about. But the Art of Living is the book. Y'all can't see with my whatever. There you go. Boom. There it is. So that's where the show came up out of. Again, it was a opportunity for me to bring different people from all walks of life to have conversations. So if you check some of the previous shows, we got people from my city, Portland. We got people from all over the United States, again, talking about topics and conversations that I think will make us better each and every day that we tap in. So with that being said, today's show is going to be awesome. It's going to be an unofficial masterclass is what I'm calling it. And the reason why I say that is because, oftentimes we have limitations and barriers that we put on ourselves, right? Some of us want to, I think everyone wants to be great, but we don't know the steps of being great. Or everyone wants to be an author or an artist, right? But sometimes we get lost in the process because we stop ourselves just with like step one, right? And so one of the things that we were going to talk about today with my guest is how you get over those hurdles, how you get over those blockages, those contrary thoughts that come into our mind as soon as we have an idea, because that to me is the first step in being able to produce anything on the other end, right? Anything that's physical, anything that's a product, and really bringing our dreams into existence is really getting over those first few steps. So without continuing my rant, because I can just always talk about some good information, I got to bring my brother in. And so before I bring him in, I want y'all to know that this is what you're hearing today is true testimony. Like I can tell you that working with him, I produce a product. So I want to just say that out the gate. This is no paid promotion. I'm not getting on here just to talk about Merch Life J and have never experienced his work. I'm telling you right now, my connection to him allowed me to produce my first book and more to come. So what you're hearing is real testimony today, real experiences. I'll tell you my whole process. You know what I mean? I'll tell you when, I didn't have all the money up front, all that stuff. We're going to talk about all of it because I think it's important that we talk about the journey, right, to becoming an author and all the things in between. So without further ado, let me bring my brother in. And I'm telling y'all, I'm going to say this for the record. I said this on my IG. It's live right now and it's free right now. I don't know if it's going to stay free on the channel. So I'm just telling y'all, if you ain't getting in now, and I'm going to give you like 30 seconds because I'm going to drink some water. I'm going to bring my brother in. But if you're not catching it right now, you may have to just, pay for the course, which you should do anyway. All right. So let's bring my brother in.
Hey, peace. How you feel? I'm Merch Life J, motivational, inspirational speaker for parentpreneurs across the globe, and I publish books, man, and I'm an author as well. How you doing, Sister Imani? How you doing?
I am so. I don't even know what the right word is. I was gonna say blessed and highly favored because that's the church. I got goosebumps. I'm feeling great.
Yes,
How
man.
you doing?
I'm excellent, excited, exuberant, all of them positive words, man. I'm grateful that I'm here. I'm just practicing gratitude and practicing having a positive attitude. I'm just practicing what I preach, man.
Come on now.
You already know.
Yes, yes, yes. So before we jump in, because I already kind of gave the disclaimer around, you know, we're going to talk about being an author, but can we just talk about the name, Merch Life J? Break that down for the people.
All right, bet. So the name Merch Life, right? So my first name is Jeremy, right? And the J comes from Jeremy, right? So I have 1,001,000 acronyms. So the Merch Life is an acronym that stands for Mastering Excellence Requires Consistent Hard Work. Now, hard work, I know it's 2 words, but yeah, it's Ebonics. So mastering excellence requires consistent hard work. That's where the merch stands for. Life stands for living infinitely fun and excited. And I believe personally and through experience that it's been proven to me over and over again by God, by the universe, whatever you want to call that creative source that everything begets from, right? Whatever you call it, it's the same. I always believe it's the same thing, right? No matter what you call it. So when you want to master something, you have to be excellent at it, right? And being excellent at it doesn't mean that you're good at it or that you're better than other people at it. It simply means that you have the willingness to work hard enough to master it. Beethoven was a musician that could not hear. So he didn't know if he was playing good music or not, but he still mastered it. You see what I'm saying? Like, so it's always a journey. It's not even the destination. It's always a journey, right? But speaking of the destination, life, right? Life, living, just like the art of living, life is what you're doing every day. So to live infinitely fun and excited, you must master something. I don't know anyone that has not fulfilled their purpose in their living, unless they are blissfully stuck in a spell or under the influence of something. And even those people that depend upon the influence of something, they are in hell when they are not under that influence. The reason is because they haven't mastered anything. They haven't put forth the work to do anything, to become excellent at anything. So you can't live infinitely fun and excited until you master what you were sent here to master.
So for you, because I relate to all of that. So for you, what was your turning point to understand that concept of mastery, right? Like, I think we all come out the womb and as children, we learn kind of the art of, okay, from crawling to standing up. Like, we understand that concept, but then when we become a little bit older, we start getting limitations and barriers, and then we start listening to other people, and we sometimes lose that innocence, right? So for you, what was that switch of understanding that this is about mastery, right? This life that we have is about mastery.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't call it a turning point because it still happens to me every day. Like, I still get that I'm addicted to success, right? So I'm addicted to that feeling you get when you feel like you won. And I'm not talking about competition wise, not winning against someone, but I mean defeating the devil in myself. I am literally addicted to growing and becoming better and enhancing myself. And you know how you ever saw Pimp My Ride before? Remember that show?
Yes.
You know how they add customizations to the car, and every time they add a customization to the car, now they got to take it to the show and show it off. That's how I feel about my life. That's a
great analogy.
Yeah, and I'm showing off to the old me though. Like, I'm literally not in competition with another human being. I'm in competition with the old me, the me of yesterday, right? So I believe that the turning point is really once I discovered that I wasn't all the way complete, or that there was always something for me to learn, or some way for me to grow, right? So like the ego is not necessarily a bad thing. It can just be used in a bad way. Because I believe that your ego is what got you here. Your ego is what protects you, right? Your ego is the reason that you get defensive when someone chastises you, right? That's your ego. But at the same time, your ego is the part of you that is also teaching you. Now, it could mean that you're learning what not to do, and it could also mean that you're learning what to do. Mastery of self, I believe, mastery of self is probably the most difficult form of mastery. And in that aspect, why wouldn't I want to do that the most rather than mastering things on the outside of me? Why wouldn't I want to master the inside of me? Because as you know, when you can control yourself, controlling anything else is not difficult at all. You know what I'm saying? So that's the turning point for me. It's for me to be able to master myself and then demonstrate that in every walk of life.
Absolutely. You know, one of the things that I was thinking, what came to mind when you were talking about that is this misunderstanding of the word jihad, right? The Arabic word for fire or holy war. And oftentimes we think of it, what we've been told propaganda wise, to think of it outside of ourselves, right? But in all scriptures, I don't care if you read Bible, Holy Quran, Torah, pick one, everything is about the inner battle of self, right? And so oftentimes in the world that we're existing in, all of us, they have us focused on external. That's why we're easily distracted. That's why we can easily spend time, hours scrolling on a phone, right? Because we're always looking for external gratification when exactly what you just said, the work is the internal gratification, right? The internal work, being better than what we were yesterday. And so I love that concept because, again, not even a concept. I love the work of that because then you're not concerned about what everybody's thinking about you. And you're not concerned about making someone else happy, right? You're spending your own time and energy creating joy for yourself. And when you're happy, that impacts everyone around you. Come on now.
Especially when you got 7 to 9, 10, maybe 11, sometimes children. You know what I mean? So
right.
Especially when you got an uncountable number of children that they don't. I don't know if you know, but kids don't do what you tell them to do. They do what they see you do.
Yes.
You know, and not you. I know you know, but I'm talking to the people.
Come on now. Yeah.
They don't do what you tell them to do. They do what they see you do. Yeah. So that having that, and then I live by the term life is 99% attitude and 1% skill. I say that because if your attitude is on point, the facts do not matter. Myron Golden said that, but if your attitude is on point, the facts don't matter. They don't. Like just the situation that I'm in right now. I didn't even go through it. I'm still in it. Right. And and the craziest part about it is that everybody wishes for you to feel how they feel. I like my mother, my brother, my sister, everyone except my sister. I ain't gonna lie. My sister is the same way as me. She like, man, he got this. I don't know why y'all tripping. I know he got this. That's my little brother. He gonna make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So your attitude determines your latitude. You know what I'm saying? So the lower it is, the lower you gonna be.
Right. I mean, Minister Farrakhan said, I'm paraphrasing, but your attitude determines your altitude, right? So same thing. However high you gonna go, however low.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. I meant to say.
All good. We go with latitude. That makes sense. We can roll with it. So, for you, because I know you have written more than 10 books. I can't even remember the number, but you've written a lot of books.
13.
How many?
13.
Okay, 13 books. So when you wrote that first one, if you can go all the way back into that inception of the first book, talk about, for one, the idea for you to even come up with it. Like, what came to mind where you said, you know what, I want to write a book? And then what was that process of getting that first one completed?
Oh man, so the conceptualization came from me. So I don't know if anybody knows, but Merch Life started before the acronym, before any of the ideology, before anything else. Merch Life started as a street salesman, right? Someone going outside with a bag full of perfumes and colognes that I got from this wholesale company and selling them in nail salons, barbershops, supermarkets, wherever I could enter with the bag. I would sell stuff to people in there, right? And it all started with this system that I learned how to sell stuff: the 5 steps to the conversation, the 4 factors of impulse, and the 8 steps to success, and also garlic, right? So basically the sales system that is used throughout the world. But I was the first person to say, why don't I put this in a book? And therefore, I don't have to worry about people saying, "Oh man, those are fake. I don't want to smell that." Are you gonna am I gonna pass out and you're gonna rob me if I smell that? Like a lot of crazy things were said to me, right? When I was selling the perfumes and colognes, right? They knockoffs, that's that's illegal and all that stuff. So I said, how can I create a product that I can sell and people don't have that to say to me, right? And this was before I realized that no matter what you're selling, it's always going to be people that just don't want it for whatever reason. Just like it's always going to be people that do want it. Side note, you could sell a bag of poop. There's somebody that wants it. I don't want a bag of poop. I know Sister Imani don't want a bag of poop, but if I find the right farmer that needs to fertilize his crop, he gonna buy that bag of poop. You feel me? So you can literally sell a bag of poop. Like it don't matter what you have. Somebody wants it. Somebody wants it. Right?
Yep. Come on now.
It all started with me merching the actual products, and I said, how can I create a product that everybody will want or that everyone can relate to? And my man Easy Mac, the guy that taught me the system within the company, the guy that basically trained me on his sales team, I was it was like multi-level marketing, right? So you're in there, then you recruit someone and they get a package and then they go out and sell it and then they buy another package from the company, things like that. It's like Mary Kay or Avon, right?
Yep.
So the guy that taught me, my upline, the guy that taught me, I came to him and I said, yo, why don't we put this system in a book? It's not in a book yet, bro. And he was like, yeah, that's crazy. We could do an audio book. I'm like, no, bro, I'm talking about like a physical book. So instead of carrying the bag of perfumes, now we carrying a bag of books with our name on it. And that was the first 5 books that I published.
Oh, wow.
So the first 5 books were 5 different parts of the system. Long story short, the process came as the super duper long way, right? So the first thing I did was type the book on my phone. Big mistake. The second thing I did was retype what's on the phone. I didn't even it was so juvenile that I wasn't even aware of copy and pasting. Like I could have copied it, emailed it to myself, and then pasted it wherever I wanted in the computer, right? But I'm literally sitting here typing on the computer, reading it out the phone.
No.
I actually did that 5 times.
Oh gosh. So, okay. You put in some work.
Yeah, it was wild. And I'm talking about hours and hours and hours and hours, right? And then let me tell you this, right? So the guy who I was at the time and the girlfriend that I had at the time, I was living the most ratchet life that you could possibly live, right? So I was renting a room and it was me and my son in there, and I had invited the girl over there, and then she had 2 of her kids with her. So it was like 5 people in a 8x10 cell. It was a room, but it seemed like a cell now that I think of it. So we in there, right? And I got my Facebook tab opened and I got the book opened. I leave to go merch. I take my son to his mom and I go merch. Little did I know, the laptop was still open with the Facebook messages of all the girls I was cheating on her with. She threw the laptop down the stairs, Sister Imani. She threw that laptop down the stairs.
Oh my goodness.
Not even thinking about the books. Not even thinking. It wasn't malicious. It wasn't like, oh, you're writing a book, let me destroy it. It was the consequence of the life that I chose to live, right? So it wasn't even her fault. It was the fact that she reacted to what I was doing, right? So the story of my first book is crazy, I know. But I wrote the book. I put it inside. I put it on my phone inside of the computer. Next thing I know, the whole computer is destroyed. So now I got to go to the Philadelphia library every day. And first time I went to the Philadelphia library, I was hoping and praying that it saved on, because you know how you got Google Docs open?
Yep.
I didn't know that it automatically saves it every time you change something.
Right.
I'm hoping and praying. I'm like, oh my God, I hope it's in there. I go to the Philadelphia library. They like, you need a library card to use these computers. Oh man. So I had to get another process to get access to my book, right? So finally, about 3 to 5 business days later or whatever, they have to mail you the card. I know it's dumb.
Oh,
they don't
wow.
right there. They had to mail the card.
That's old school.
Tell me about it. So I'm in a rooming house where I rent a room from on the west side of Philadelphia. My grandmom lived on the west side of Philly, but on the north side of the west side. So this is probably, I'm everything I do is on foot at this point, right? This is probably a 30-40 minute walk. I take the bus there. I go there to get the library card. It's not there for like 4 days straight. On the 5th day, I don't go to her house. That's when the library card comes. So I'm like, yo, what is happening that this book can't get published? So I finally, long story short, finally get the library card. I go to the library. They're like, Google Docs does work here. Wham. I go in there. I see the book in Google Docs. So I begin to format the book. And Easy Mac, the whole time, Easy Mac, the guy that taught me the system, he was talking to me about what's going on. Like, yo, did you finish the book? Is it produced yet? Is it this? Is it that? By book number 5, I realized that I was doing all the work and I only had his name on it because he had taught this to me. Right. And I talked to him about it and I was like, come on, bro. This not right. You know what I'm saying? This is not fair. Right. So we ended up parting ways as authors. We're still good friends. I just talked to him today. You know what I'm saying? He got his series of books and I got my series of books. So that turned out well. However, during that process, it was so unnecessarily long. So basically, the moral of the story of my first book, I think that's a lawnmower, but I'm in the wilderness, so it'd be like gators behind me and all that. But anyway, the moral of the story is that you should not make this process harder than it has to be, like I did, because I really did. I made it way longer than it had to be. So fast forward to the publishing part. Once I discovered what KDP was, and I discovered that from Easy Mac's mother-in-law, Valerie Love, she's the one that had she won the lottery. She like a millionaire and all that stuff. So she had a book published and she published it herself. I'm watching her YouTube live one day where she's just giving the game away for free. I took so many notes. And the fact that I took these notes is what made me assert myself as the only author of the book, because I'm like, bro, I put the books together. I typed them. I retyped them from the phone to the book. I got my laptop destroyed. I went to the library every day. I'm the one that put the work in to make the book. Now I'm also the one that discovered the knowledge to publish it. Oh yeah, this is all me. It's got to be all me. It's only right. I don't see another way.
Right.
So I ended up publishing the book through KDP. That's Kindle Direct Publishing. And it was horrible. It was trash. So the book was about this thin when it first came out. The book was about that thin. I promise you it was 32 pages. And it was just the first part of the system. So we did that again 3 times. By the time we got to book 4 and 5 to publish them, my man Corey, who is Valerie Love's son, who is Easy Mac's wife's brother. Remember I told you Valerie Love is Easy Mac's mother-in-law, and they all are like family to me as well, because I consider Easy Mac my brother. So I sent him the money to pay Corey for the illustration. He's a famous artist. I paid Corey for the illustration, but Easy Mac was going through something at the time. So he decided to flip that money instead. And then the money just never got to Corey. So Corey never did the illustration. So we got 5 books written, 3 of them published, and 2 of them we can't put out because we want the same artist to do the drawings. But because of their relationship at the time, we weren't able to get that done. I ended up putting all 5 books together inside of one book and calling it The Science of Winning. And that's how The Science of Winning was birthed. But to answer the question, my first book, the whole process was extremely long due to a lot of everything was my fault. It was extremely long, and it was due to a lot of BS, pretty much. Like I said, it was dumb stuff that was going on that hindered the book that didn't even need to happen in my life in general.
Yeah. So I mean, I got all the questions. I want to know what happened to the girl. No, it's fine. I don't even know all that. But here's what my one question I do have. So this book idea obviously came up out of like, hey, we're selling this. Let's put this method in a book, right? But I know you probably have other books that are more, I don't want to say more, but just maybe more personal, connected. Like that one was more like sales pitch. Let's put the package. But are there other books that you've written that have more of a personal connection, or because you've written children's books as well? So talk a little bit about just the wide span of the different topics you have.
Yeah, so I got the business books, like the 5-part system series, and I count that as 5 books because it's 5 books. And then we got The Science of Winning, which is all of those books combined into one. It's just like how you got the DVD set of Star Wars. You got 1 movie, 2 movies, 3, but then they're like, you can get all 5 for this price.
Right.
That's
Right.
what
Right.
I was basically doing, repurposing
Mhm.
the same thing. And then you have the children's books. My Father is the first children's book I published. And My
Okay.
Father is basically, it promotes fatherhood. A lot of people at the time were saying that fathers are not around and that we
Mm.
don't support our children, and that it was a black dad joke going around, like, you know what I'm saying, that black dads don't do nothing for their kids or whatnot. So I said, how about I publish a book saying the exact opposite? And then
Mhm.
I went and gathered different pictures of different looking in different occupational fathers with different jobs, spending time with their children. So you got a mailman, you
Right.
got a reverend in there, you got, you just got different dads. And what inspired that book was the fact that people were really gun ho on dads aren't doing anything. And I'm like, how? Look at me, like y'all don't see me. And then
Mhm.
I also didn't want I also do not like, I dislike very much when people say, oh, you got your kids with you, oh man, great job, and try to elbow me or give me a high five. And I'm like, bro,
Right.
this
Like
is
you're not supposed to. Right. Come
right,
on.
like it's weird or something. Like, bro, this is minimal. I'm
Right.
walking my child through the park and you talking about congratulations. I appreciate you, but where are you from that this is weird, or this
Mhm.
is like rare to you?
Right.
Where I'm from, this is normal to me. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Philly, I don't know about any other city, but I know in the city of Philadelphia, I see a lot of dads with their children. I
Right.
do. Even if they're not with the mother, I still see them with their children. And it's not that many moms in Philly that are on that, if you're not with me, you can't be around the kid. That's also a myth.
Yeah.
Like we got to let that go too, because
Mhm.
that doesn't I don't see that happening. I don't know if it happens other places, but I know in my personal experience, even if the mom and dad not together, that doesn't mean the children aren't going to be seeing you.
Right.
Like
Right.
who in their right mind isn't going to lay the load off and let the other parent get the child? Who in their right mind is going to do that? Like, you know what I mean? On purpose.
Yeah. On purpose. Right.
Like who does stuff like that, right? So that book was inspired, and it's very personal because it was inspired by that, right? And then my
Mhm.
mother is the counterpart. And when I was writing My Father Is, I put a picture, Uncle Craig, right? Uncle Craig, my one of my right hand man, Craig Goodwin. Shout out to Gregory. I call him Gregory. Nobody else calls him that. His name is Craig, but I just call him Gregory because it's funny. So shout out to Craig Mack. You already know. He is the person that took the picture of me and Zayden for the main picture inside of My Father Is.
Mm-hmm.
Right after he took that picture, Zayden said, I said, this picture is no, right, not right after he took it, but right after I officially put it in the book and I got it animated to look like a cartoon. And by the way, I used the app called PixArt to do that. So this whole book, My Father Is pictures of real people, real fathers, real sons, real daughters. All I did was put it in PixArt, hit the cartoon button, and now you got a book with no illustrator. Get excited about that.
Wow. Y'all missed that. I hope y'all got that one.
Yeah,
That
because
was
I
a nice
did the same
little,
thing with My Mother Is, and My Mother Is Too. And My Mother Is Too,
nice little jewel right there.
super gem, right? And My Mother Is Too is pictures of my actual mother. My actual mother and my sister and her children. So the whole book is pictures that I took off my sister's Facebook account and turned them into cartoons with an app on my phone. Like, you integrated vertically the whole joint. Like, I was not playing, right? So My Mother Is was inspired by Zayden. Zayden is my oldest son. He said, hey dad, he's a mama's boy, like I'm a mama's boy. He saw the book being produced, My Father Is, and he said, hey dad, why don't we make one for moms too? And then he started spitting bars because the words in both of these books, they rhyme. So I was attempting to become the Black Dr. Seuss at the time. And I was like, yo, we about to make 1 million children's books. They all gonna rhyme. They all gonna be bars. And Zayden started spitting bars. He had some rhymes about his mom. So I'm like, ew, I'm gonna write that down, son. We're gonna use that. And now he's the co-author of one of my best-selling books.
And that's your son.
And he always got Roblox money.
And how old is he?
Now he's 12, but when it happened, he was 9.
See, that's a whole nother. We're gonna talk about that too. How you set your children up for generational wealth. We're gonna put a pin in it. Okay, so then you got the children's books, the business books, Any other topics you've covered yet?
All right, so like the growth books, right? So when we talk about social media growth, right? So 10 Ways to 10K is one of the biggest books. I probably sold 1,000 copies of that journal. And that joint is at $10, right? And I was giving it away for free at one point too. 10 Ways to 10K. That book is just how you grow your account or Instagram or Facebook or whatever from 0 to 10K followers, right? It's the same methods that Brother Ben X uses, the same methods that a bunch of influencers use, right? Because I collected the information from different influencers and then I put it in my own words and put it in a book.
Right.
And that's all any book is. You know what I mean? Nobody gets a book out of the sky. Any book that's informational is collected from a bunch of different sources and then placed into someone's own perspective and then published. That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
Period.
So yeah, that's pretty much any book though. So I got that book, and then I got like I'm the Author. That book teaches you how to materialize a book from your mind into real life. Mm-hmm. We also got plenty of books. We got it's a book coming out next year called Humans and Dragons that is all the way done, finished, published. I haven't launched it yet. And then we got another one called Kind Man, Con Man, which these both are children's books. So this book teaches children to be kind to people no matter what, no matter who they are, no matter what they are, no matter what appearance you may have, until this person shows you a reason not to be kind to them. You should be kind to everyone, no matter what.
Yeah.
And that's the moral of that story.
I love that. I love it. So, I have 1,000 questions. I always got to land on like one. So you have a course that, actually, before I ask this question, I wanted to share with the people that one of the things I'm going to share with my personal journey, right? So some of you may be like me, where you were like, I want to write a book like 20 years ago. It might even be 25 years ago, but you don't need to know how old I am. So I had this idea, wanted to write a book. I started it, stopped, started it and stopped, right? So I got pages, I have journals. I don't know how many journals and pages that I have written, right, over the past 20 years. And for me, I didn't know what to do with it, right? So I got all this writing. I got poems, I got thoughts, I got quotes, I got mantras, affirmations, whatever. Pick it, I have it written down, right? Because at some point I told myself I want to be a writer, or I am a writer. So, but I was stuck to my point. So I'm sure there's folks that are listening that have that same kind of like vibe. Like you got some good words, you've written down things, but you just don't know what to do with it, right? So what I would say is my first step that I recommend anyone is find a network of people that are of a like minds, right? So I met Merch Life J through digital real estate, connected through BWO. I mean, all these things of layering connections of network, right? So again, I'm all the way in Portland, Oregon. The brother just said he was in Philly. I don't go to Philly. I probably went there one time, but here we are. Here we are. No knock on Philly, y'all. No knock on Philly. I actually want to go there, but I think I traveled through there one time. Anyway, but here we are, Portland, Philly, Orlando, literally just hanging out. You know what I mean? And having conversations. But the way that we connected was through a network of people. And so I want to say that with any dream, with any idea, with any concept that you have, you may not have the people around you to help you bring it into fruition. But if you really have this dream and you want to make it happen, you may have to network with people that are maybe outside of your city and your state. So that's a little plug right there. So I connected with Merch Life J and I was like, yo, I have this book. And he was like, let's get it done. And here we are. So that's the fast forward edition of a physical digital copy of my book. But my point of saying this all is that sometimes we don't know what we don't know. And I know that sounds like a cliche, but it's true. We don't know the steps. And when I learned how easy it is to put words from our mind, not only to paper, but in an audio form, to transcribe it, to create a book. When I learned that process, that's what most people are doing out here in this world, because it saves time. Let's be clear. And two, most of these celebrities, like I said before, most of these celebrities are not sitting in front of a computer in between sets of movies writing damn books. Excuse my language, but that's not what's happening, y'all. So Charlemagne the God, all these people that put out, Will Smith, when they put out books, yeah, it's their story, but they found a faster and effective way to put it out. So I say this all the time. You and I all have a book within us. And our purpose of putting out books are not necessarily for ego gratification, right? Like you just heard the brother say he wrote the book for his own personal story, right? He saw fathers being projected a certain way. He was like, hell no, I'm gonna show another side of it. Then the son came in with the other side, right? So I said all this to say, y'all, I am a living product, for lack of better words, of what it's like to become an author, and then the power of making that happen, right? So now after I got this first one done, I think I got like 3 more, and I got another one that I have yet to finish, but it's going to be done. But I've produced 3 or 4 after this last one, or the first one, excuse me. So once you get through that first one, y'all, it's just the first one. You see his story of how it took to get the first one done. But after he got through that first one, them trials and tribulations and the fire and the brimstone, now he's able to produce, 12 other books. So I just got to give that plug. And that was the segue to talk about what is your course that you are offering to the people, and how valuable is this course right now for folks?
All right. So first I gotta say thank you. Thank you for even asking me how was the first book produced, because I don't think I ever told that story.
Yes. First time on Art of Living.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a true and living exclusive. Like I never get asked that question before. So get excited about that. And get excited is my slogan. So I was saying that I was saying thank you for that. Thank you for that, first of all. And can you repeat the question real quick? Because the course. Come on, the course that you're offering to people that not everybody can offer, right? But you are the person that can offer the course. Yeah. So it's a 4-week course. Like it literally takes 4 weeks to get through the course. And I have been told by people that have purchased the course at $444, or at one point, believe it or not, I was selling this course for $100.
Wow.
$100, right? But I have been told over and over again by 15 people that, yo, this is worth 10 bands. I don't know why you selling this for anything less than 10 bands, right? I've had people purchase it for, the most I've ever sold it for was $444. And right now it's priced at $11.11. There's a discount code that you can use called merch, where you can get it for $9.97. If you use the link from this podcast, only 10 people can qualify. It's only 10 available. But if you use the link from this podcast and the discount code Portland, you can get the course, the entire 4-week course. It's 32 videos, 4 books that come with it. 4 books that come with it. That's 4 books that come with it. I'm gonna say that one more time. 4 books. That's crazy. That come with the course. And it's a plethora of 32 different videos, right? And you get to meet with me personally every week, every Sunday at 6 p.m. to go over what your progress is, right? And the course is just amazing. So it starts with how to conceptualize your book, and we're talking about your 30-second outline. We're talking about finding your purpose within yourself. We're talking about a mindset change for you to realize what it is that you were really sent to earth to do. You know what I mean? This talks about your entire existence, right? So that's the beginning of the course. The second part of the course is you putting together what you have down on paper, right? Whether your book is in a bunch of journals from when you were a teenager, or you just put it together, or if you just want to do a video, right? If you want to do a series of videos, like I have an author named Lady Hurricane. Lady Hurricane never touched a pen or paper, and she got a published book.
Come on.
She never touched a pen or paper one time. Right. I told Lady Hurricane, hey, record your book and upload it to YouTube as a private video. Send me the link. She had a series of 6 videos, and I turned that into a 30 chapter book. You feel me? So it's not that difficult nowadays, especially going through what I went through to create
Yeah.
the first series of books that I have. I have multiplied and honed in on my craft and made it so that you don't got to go through what I went through to get your book published or to get
Right.
it done, right?
Right.
So it's so much in the course. It's just too much to name, but I'm gonna go pull up the flyer and I'm gonna name a few things in there.
Okay. And then by the time people are finished with the course, they're gonna have finished product. They're gonna know how to create a book from beginning to end, and more importantly, it sounds like they're gonna know their purpose of why they're here.
Yeah, and it also comes with 20 copies of your book.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I told you that thing is enhanced now. It's different.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me pause real quick. That's the course. I mean, what's the words I want to say? The course is worth that alone. If you get 20 copies of your own book at the Portland discount rate, and you happen to get some videos to go along with it, come on now. I don't know what y'all doing. Y'all better tap in. Yeah, the 20 copies of your book alone is the value of that course that yeah. I mean, I'm just saying.
It's so fire because it took me, so when the course was first invented, it was early 2019, right? So this is almost 3 years in the making now. Mm-hmm. It's been refined so many times with so much feedback from different people that it's only right that it comes with the 20 copies of your book, right?
Right.
Because who else is going to publish it? Once we get it done, we're going to put it out, exactly. And for real, I show you how to publish yourself. But most of the time so I have 15 people in the I'm the Author group now. And these are people that purchased the course early on, right? Some people for some reason didn't follow the email prompts and didn't join the group, but they bought the course. I don't know why. But it's more than 15 people that have purchased the course. But the 15 people that's in there, mm-hmm. they all were grandfathered in, so they didn't get 20 copies of their book. Like, this is new. This feature is new. Right. You know what I mean? Right. So from guide 1, right? I'm gonna just talk about what's in there real quick. So guide 1 is week 1 of the course, right? We're talking about writing with a purpose, ebook or paperback, your 30-second outline, how to organize your book, what is an ISBN, how to transcribe videos into books, and the proofreading 101. All of that is in the first week because that has to do with you creating the book. That has to do with you creating the contents of the book, right? Mm-hmm. And then week 2 is like how to obtain illustrators, how to resize your final copy, the book cover creation, how to self-publish paperback, how to self-publish ebooks, how to self-publish hard copies. And then you think that's the end, but that's not the end because you got week 3 as well. And week 3 is how to license pre-written books, how to properly launch your book, how to create a lead magnet email list or a landing page for your book, how to sell your book in stores, and how to sell your book in person. So week 3 is where you get your free copy of The Science of Winning, the sales system that I've been using for over 12 years. Yeah, you get a copy of that because you're going to want to sell your book once it's published.
Right.
So I'm putting you on. I'm putting you from beginning to end. Like, it's not just here's how to do it and that's what you do. This is how you do it, and this is how you do that, and this is how you do that, and this is how you do that, and then you get a meet with me every week, so that you can literally understand what's in the book. So if you got the book and you're like, I know how to sell stuff, but I don't know about this part, I can explain all of that to you, just like we on this video now. And then you got week 4. How to sell your book online, how to create line journals, because you might want to create a workbook that goes with your book, and then how to create workbooks. And then we got the path to 3K in 30 days, right? And that's the entire course. And again, it's 4 books that come with this course, 4 of them. So in week 1, you get the I'm the Author book, you know what I'm saying? And then week 2, you get the 10 ways to 10K book. I need to switch that around. But either way, you get 4 books, man. And then there's a book called Selling Your Book. So you got a book called The Science of Winning. This is how you sell things when you're outside. The Sell Your Book is the book that I just demonstrated today on my impact meeting. I have an impact meeting every day at 8:30 a.m. On my platform. You feel me? Oh, Christina Boyer has a question.
Yes, you touched on it, but direct question is, are you teaching self-publishing, or are you the publisher?
All right, so it does teach self-publishing as well. It teaches you how to publish your book, like I said in what's that, week 3?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, no, week 2. So week 2 teaches you how to self-publish paperbacks, how to self-publish ebooks, and how to self-publish hardcovers. So the hardcover is the book you can knock on. So it teaches you all of that, but you also get 20 copies of the book anyway. So before you even get through the process, there's an agreement that you have to sign with us, with Merch Life Publishing, so that after we publish your book, we then have to what is it called? We didn't have to turn over the rights to you already have the rights to your book.
Mm-hmm.
But basically the agreement says that we're not allowed to just go ahead and move forward with your book after the fact.
Right.
So if you want to continue to publish it, that's what we would prefer. But if you want us to continue to publish it, then we can continue to publish it, and then you can buy the copies wholesale like that, right? Either way, the copies, the price of the copies is going to be the same. So we're just paying for ink and paper at that point.
Gotcha. So let me ask you a couple questions. These are just like random questions that I know that were my first questions before I actually got a final product. So, what's the significance? Well, let me ask this. Do you have to have an ISBN number to sell a book?
No, you don't. You do not. So the only significance of having an ISBN, and I don't say number because the N stands for number. So ISBN is International Standard Book Number. The only significance behind it is so that you can track sales on the internet, so that you can track sales that are happening when you're not there. Okay. Right. So if I say I'm going to sell 500 copies of this to that store, they don't count as being sold. They count as being wholesaled. So when this bookstore sells them retail, mm-hmm. now it goes down in the books as your book was sold retail. You can become a best-selling author, but it's frowned upon to become a best-selling author through the wholesale method. Because then it's like you're cheating. Then it's like, well, that company bought 1,000 of your books.
Yeah, that's
not 1,000 people buying your book. Right. You know what I mean? So the purpose of the ISBN is to track how many sales your book actually does, individually, retail price. So that's the purpose of that book. So you don't have to have one.
Okay.
You do have to have one to publish a physical book, like a paperback or a hardcover. You have to have one to publish it. Mm-hmm. But an ebook does not need a ISBN at all.
Okay. And then how protected is your ISBN? So for example, just like my ISBN sitting on here, right? And you've seen, actually, no, I'm going to break it all the way down. So at one point, the books that were produced by the Nation of Islam, right? Message to the Black Man, all of those books were, I don't know the right word, but were no longer published through the Final Call. So there's a bunch of other publishing companies that have published certain books, and they have the same ISBN, I believe so. But anyway, you can see different publishers taking the ISBN and publishing them, right? So how protected is your intellectual property with the ISBN number? Because someone literally can take this number right now and do something with it or not. So are you protected with the ISBN? Do you understand the question?
Yeah. So the International Standard Book Number is really not international at all. It's only international in the aspect that there is a hub that tracks how many sales you make, right? But in the aspect of protection, I don't really subscribe to the copyright laws or the trademark laws or the trade secret laws or any of those laws, because they are American laws. So if a guy in Europe decides to steal my book and do everything that I she said, you already answered. I thought you said it because of my question. Oh, get excited. You already know. That's my sister too. So what's up, team?
Hey, sister.
So the reason why I always do both copyrights is because, one, you have the copyright law that's in America. Two, you have the poor man's copyright, which I believe is more effective, because if someone steals your book, takes your work, And then whether they put it in their own words or not, if it can be proven that you wrote that first, which it can be if you do the poor man's copyright.
Mm-hmm.
If it can be proven that you wrote that first, then you win in court. And then you can take them for all the money they ever made off of your work.
Right.
Now, the copyright laws are BS to me because there are no international copyright laws.
Right.
They're only in America. So that means another person in another country is a lot. This is why you have China recreating everything that's in America and then sending it back here and it says made in China on it.
Right.
China doesn't respect copyright laws because it's an American law. There's no international copyright law.
Mm-mm.
There's no international patent law.
No.
There's no international trademark law. It's America. That's it. So when it comes down to the ISBN, they call it the International Standard Book Number, but that's just like how they call FedEx. It's not federal at all. The Federal Reserve is not federal at all. Right. It's a private group of bankers. So like you just got to look into these things and realize that they really are just trying to put fear into you so that you don't do what it is that you need to do for yourself and for your own book. Right. So to really get down to the nitty-gritty to answer that question, no, you're not more protected with the ISBN than you are without one. It's the same level of protection.
Got it. Okay. And then let's talk about the different types of books. So I would say ebooks have kind of went like this over the last probably 10 years. I don't think I ever heard of ebooks 10 years ago. And then all of a sudden everybody got an ebook, right? So ebook versus paperback versus hardback. What's your recommendations?
So let's start with the hardcover. The hardcover is for showing off. The hardcover is for that solidification that I'm really an author. I really do this. And it's not cost effective for the author. It's for the author themselves.
Right.
It's not. So I'm going to give you a roundabout, right? So I have a book that is 196 pages, The Science of Winning. It cost me around under $3 to print that book. If I turn that book to a hardcover, now it costs me $11.70 to print that book.
Yeah.
If I'm selling the book for $20, which one you think I'm gonna get, the hardcover or the paperback?
Paperback all day.
Why wouldn't I?
Mathematics.
Right?
Yep.
So hardcover books are strictly, in my opinion, for the clout. That is it. That's all. Because you're beating yourself as the author. It doesn't make sense to do the hardcover because you're making less money, right? Now, when you talk about paperback versus ebook, a paperback versus ebook is determined by the length of the book, the purpose of the book, and what you're doing with the book.
Mm-hmm.
I consider ebooks a lead magnet. So an ebook is an introduction to what you have to offer as an entrepreneur or as an author. Yep. It's an introduction to what you have to offer. This is why the book 10 Ways to 10K was free for about a year, because I don't want to sell a book that's $10. I can go outside and sell an oil that's $10. I'm not so much hung up on the money, but I'm more so hung up on building my community that I can remarket other products to.
Right.
And how do you build that community? Just like in week 3, it tells you how to build a landing page or a lead magnet. The lead magnet is, hey guys, I got this free stuff. Come get it. And when they come get it, they got to type their email in. When they come get it, they got to give you their phone number. What you think I'm going to do with that email and phone number?
Right. Follow up.
Exactly. So now I'm sending you an email to let you know that this is even happening. Right. I emailed you right before this call, before this interview, so you could come watch this interview. Why are you on the email list? Because you got something for free at one point.
Yep.
And that's how it works.
Yep.
So an ebook is based on the length and it's based on the message, right? Some ebooks can cost money, and I don't have anything against people selling ebooks. I just look at them more so as a lead magnet. That's just that's how I use them. Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then like for me, and I just share my personal kind of experience with that. So I had the same thing. I have a book on my website, and I'll drop the link for y'all. But I have a book on my website, Healing Tools, right? So it's like a 4-page ebook, and it's free. And it's for those who want to know how I use sage, Palo Santo, and incense, right? So like, I'm not spooky with it. I'm just like, this is simple how I use healing tools, right? I'm not getting extra with it. So that book is free on my website, right? And then I have another ebook called How to Buy. It's for Black Portland, How to Buy Property in Portland, right? So it was my journey of purchasing my first house. And so there's an ebook of that too that I put on my website as well. And so that one is like $13 because I'm basically telling you my story and all the pain and tears that I went through of buying a house. But more importantly, I give you a checklist to make sure you know if you're ready to buy a house or not. So there's that ebook. And then I have my hardback book as well. So I think to your point, it's what is the purpose, right? What's your strategy of having your books, right? Is it hardback? Like my next book that I'm gonna finish this week, because I said I was, and I said it out loud. So I'm gonna finish it, The Clear Mind to Get Results. That will be a hardback because I don't want to say I want the clout. I'm gonna water it down a little bit, but I like hardbacks. So this one it's something about the book itself.
That's your baby.
It's my baby, and it's something about the cover that young Khan Nadan, shout out to young Khan Nadan, did the design, and the design is just man. So it has to be a hardback. So again, I think it's important to have the intention behind all that you're trying to do. So if you're trying to write a book, if you want to get the word out, if you're driving people to your website, all of those things, figure out what's the purpose of your writings and why you want to put out the book.
Yeah, definitely.
So the other question that I wanted to ask you too was around just cost, right? So you already talked about $3 paperback, $11, but just like if someone in general, right? So they got their book, they're ready to get published. What kind of price range do you think they need to make sure they have if they want to start with 25 or 50 copies all the way up to 100? Like give a ballpark of a figure for folks to kind of think about in terms of money. And again, it's an estimate, of course.
Yeah, definitely. Great question though. A great question. And I would always recommend that if you're trying to run it up, if you got some money that you're going to invest and it's already to the side for you to invest, then I would definitely go ahead and definitely get as many books as you can, right? With that amount of money. Mm-hmm. But the key to this game, right? The key to this book stuff, the key to this being an author game, that ebook that you don't give out for free, that ebook that is the book you're charging for. I don't care if you charging $12.99. I don't care if you charging $29.99. And if I'm selling a book, it's going to be in between those two prices I just said. Mm-hmm. I'm not charging more than $30 for a book, and I'm not charging less than $12 for a book. I don't care what the book is, what it look like, what it's doing. If it's an ebook, paperback, hardcover, it's $30 max, $12 minimum, right? What I would do with my ebook, I would run that money up to get my paperback from the ebook.
Right.
And how do you do that, right? You create content surrounding the message that's in your book. So whether you're teaching someone something, you want to capitalize on those pain points, right? And I'm a content creator, so I'm going to speak on that as well. When you're creating content around your book, you want to talk about the pain points. So when I did content around 10 ways to 10K, I always made content that has to do with the fact that I only got 200 followers. I've been on Instagram for 4 years. Or the pain point of how I feel like I'm not reaching enough people. Is my voice even being heard? Or the pain point of I cannot seem to grow my account no matter what I do. I done got on here and danced. I done got on here and showed my body. I done got on here and made jokes. But for some reason, my account just won't grow. You want your account to grow, then 10 ways to 10K is for you, right? So you got to touch on those pain points when it comes to marketing your ebook. But I would recommend that you market your ebook enough so that it funds the paper version or the hardcover of your book.
Right. So what would you say to people that are like, I'm not charismatic, I can't get in front of the camera, I'm not comfortable with that whole piece about building content around your book, right? So, and I can relate, y'all. I have been that person where if I could share with y'all all the stories of how I used to cry when I had to get in front of the microphone or get on a rostrum or get on anything, I would just cry. So you talking to someone or you listening to someone who was scared of their own shadow, someone who did not want to talk. And now you can't tell me to stop talking. But I had to overcome that. But you got people that want to write books, but don't want to do the other side of it, of the building the content or the promotion or the marketing. So what do you say to those folks?
I would recommend they become either a ghostwriter. That means that you write a book and have someone else be the author, have someone like just sell the content. Mm-hmm. It's still intellectual property.
Okay.
It's still intellectual property. I recommend you write something or put something together and then sell it immediately, because you don't want to be known for it. Just sell it, right? Or what you could do, like what I do with my children now, when they tell me a story or I'm giving them a bedtime story, I got my two latest children books comes from me telling bedtime stories off the dome. Remember I talked about Humans and Dragons? Mm-hmm. Humans and Dragons is the story of not judging people by how they look. Long story short, you got a human and you got a dragon. They're both afraid of each other. The dragon thinks the human wants to kill him. The human is like, you're a dragon. Why would I go near you? Turns out that they actually can help each other at the end of the book. So that's the moral of that story, right? And then you got Kind Man, which teaches the child that you need to be kind to people until they give you a reason not to. It's no reason to be mean to people. So I would say that the best way to get your point across, if you don't want to get on the internet and you don't want to be in front of the camera, is to hit up Merch Life Publishing, is to contact Merch Life J and get into that content creation training class, man. Get in there. It's $100. You're gonna make thousands off of this information. And this information is you building your confidence, right? Mm-hmm. This information is how do you become the true you, right? How do you let go of your ego? And when I say that, I mean let go of what you think others think of you. Mm-hmm. Right? My man Malik also has a course on confidence building, right? And that's a 16-week course. He's building that joint out right now. Get excited, you already know. And what is taught in his course is an expansion of what I'm talking about in my course, because what I got in my course is what he taught me personally, right? Is what how he got me to break out of my shell personally. So you're looking at Merch Life J, you're looking at how excited I am and all the things that I do. And I'm telling you that there's someone that taught me that. Mm-hmm. And he has a course. So you got to really look into that, man. I would say if that's not an option for you, right? For the people that they just don't want to do it at all. They don't want to be on camera. They have social anxiety and all of that good stuff. I would recommend you then hire someone to create your content. And those are the three options. Those are your three choices right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think too, one of the things that we're learning, and COVID helped with the learning of this, but it also is creating a little bit of a gap between people that are embracing technology and people that are just like, I can't hang with this, right? So, we're living in a digital world. Like we are living in a world right now where, due to people's attention span, due to technology being what it is, like you have to have some type of presence, right? So, back in the day as business owners, a presence was a sign on your building, right? A board frame, a business card. Well, now in 2022, do you have a website? But not only do you have a website, what's your social media looking like? What's your content? And how are you building around that? So I think it's one of those situations where you cannot want to engage in social media and building out content if you want to. But if you don't apply one of the two other options that he just mentioned, you're going to be left behind, because the reality is that is the order of the day. That's what we're in right now. And either we catch on board and catch that wave and figure out how to be digital creators, figure out how to hire somebody to build our content, or you're going to be sitting with a lot of books on your shelf in your house. I mean, that's the reality of it.
You absolutely right. And not to go off on a crazy tangent or nothing, but it's like selling crack. It's just like selling crack. You can't start selling.
Hold on, make it connect. I
got you. I don't sell crack, and I don't condone that. But I'm saying, if you're going to become a crack dealer in 2023 or 2022, like, what are you doing? First of all, but
what are you
the
doing?
only people that are successful at that Meaning the only people who are successful without social media that have businesses are people that have been doing it since the 80s.
Exactly.
Are people that are already established without social media. There is no beginning a business. Nowadays, there is no beginning selling crack without that back end already. Without social media, you're going to fail.
Yep.
You're just going to fail. There is no new business that doesn't have social media, just like there is no new crack dealers. Like you can't, you know what I'm saying? The only people that are successful at that, they have been doing it for 20, 30 years already, bro.
Right.
So you have to.
But hold on though, but they've sophisticated the game. So they still not even doing it in the same way that they was doing in the 80s and 90s. They done flipped it. They done turned it into the Walgreens pharmacy. Come on. Like that's how they flipped the game. So they still evolving. And that's what we have to do. We got to make sure we are evolving as a group of people. So yes, that's a whole piece. And I think that, and we're talking about books, y'all. We definitely are talking about books and becoming an author. But I think I'm going to go back to his course and guide session 1 or the first week when we talk about figuring out your purpose, right? Like all of this, the book is the outcome. Like that's just a tangible product. But I think when we start really looking at how can you begin to put thoughts to paper? How do you be able to get clear in your mind just enough to tell your story, right? To be able to put out content. Like we're so distracted as human beings, and I can go on and on about this topic, but we're so distracted and clouded in our minds that sometimes we don't even know what we could even write about. Because we're just like, I don't even know what I would say, right? Knowing that we got life experience, knowing that we got a lot of things that we've experienced in life and gone through a lot of stuff, trauma, resilience, happy, joy, pain. But yet we don't even have the ability because of what we've been through to speak it into existence, right? And to talk about it. So I think being able to have a course is my point, y'all. Being able to have a course and a conversation to be able to unpack what is really going on, why you are even here on this planet, what is the purpose in life. I mean, that's deep. But when you get that, when you begin to get on that journey of mastery towards that goal, then all this other stuff that seems like barriers are false barriers, right?
Yeah,
like I said, I was so scared to talk and speak in front of people. High school, college, like I don't know what the heck was going on, other than I hadn't really fully figured out what my purpose was in life. And the more I got closer to the purpose, the more I began to get freer and speak with conviction whenever I, open my mouth, right? So I don't want to jump over that piece because yes, we're talking about how do I write a book? Yes, we're talking about how do I get a product that I can sell? But there's some inner work that has to happen before you can get there. And you can put a product of BS out if you want to, but ain't nobody buying that. Maybe that one person that will buy poop is going to buy that BS book. But ain't nobody buying that, and you're not making millions off that.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. That's a fact. I just want to add to that. Like when it comes to the first part of the course, when it comes to finding out what your purpose truly is, right? In this world because your purpose has nothing to do. This is another thing I want to say, man. Your purpose has nothing to do with you. Your purpose has to do with the effect or the value that you're bringing to the rest of the world. Man. But you can't find your purpose until you go within.
Yep.
You can't find your purpose until you go within, right? So I've had Janae Jackson, right? AKA Sekhmet. She has a book called Track Adventures. She has a book called How to Transition from Meat Eating to Being Vegan. She has another book. Like I've published almost 3 books for her, right? We're working on number 3. I have published so many books for different people in different walks of life that I've realized that this in the book I'm writing now called Memoirs of a Merchant is my healing journey for me, right? But this author thing, this writing a book thing is actually a healing journey. It's going to bring out of you all of the things you avoided talking about. It's going to bring out of you the things that you're ashamed to say, the things that you're ashamed to even acknowledge, right? And the best part about the healing journey is that finding your purpose, healing yourself, and freeing yourself is the real reward of writing your book. It's really not about the money at all. The money though, ooh, the money when you getting paid when you're asleep, when you wake up and you see money on your phone, that is a byproduct of you becoming your true self. That is you giving back to yourself a reward for doing that inner work, for getting rid of that trauma, for releasing that pain, for moving past what may have happened to you or what you saw happen to someone else. You're going to be rewarded internally and externally for that. So that money is a byproduct, but you're not going to get to those dollars. You're not going to get to that $9.97. You're not going to get that money until you give yourself what you deserve. What you deserve is that healing. It's deeper than that. I'm trying to tell you.
So it really is. And I think that we're at a point and this is, I'm gonna go not far, but I'm gonna just say this. I think we're in a point of our history and our society that we can no longer not go deep. You know what I mean? Like humanity, we can't afford to not go within, because we're losing our babies every single day because we are neglecting ourselves. Like we can't afford to just not heal. You know, and I'll be clear, I don't think there's some things that you may never be healed, as in past tense from, you know, ED. I don't think some things ain't there's no end to it. You're healing, right? There's a constant healing process. But I do think that there is a way of shifting what we've experienced in our minds, shifting how we see our experiences. And in my opinion, the way that we shift that is through writing, right? Or speaking, or telling the story, narrating the story. Like I could tell you my childhood experiences. I was just actually retelling this the other day to somebody, and they were like, damn. They said, it's no wonder, or they said, no, they didn't say no wonder. They said, it is a miracle that you haven't lost your mind. This is what this person said to me when I was telling her just a couple of my childhood experiences. They said, damn, it's a miracle that you haven't lost your mind. And I said, you know, I never went to counseling, but what I did was I talked my story. I told my story. I narrated my story. I wasn't ashamed of my experiences, and I've always talked about them. So my point of just kind of bringing it back to your point around healing, you never know sometimes how valuable your story can actually inspire someone else. And that's the key for me. When I have somebody that walks up to me in my city and says, hey, I follow you. I like what you're saying. Oh, but when you talked about that one piece that you went through, that helped me. My work is done. My work is done.
It's no greater feeling than that.
No greater feeling
than knowing that it ain't even really like, you know, a big up to you. It's a big up to the cause, right? Because we in it for the cause, not the applause.
Yes.
We in it for the cause, not the applause. Bro, I promise you, right before the carbon monoxide situation happened, right before we left Philly and was in the hotel for a week and all that stuff, right before that happened, the day before, as a matter of fact, I was at the park with my children. And this is a park we don't normally go to. Chase had football practice at this park. This is the only reason we was at this park. This park is called Tustin. This park is, what I know of this park is a child was shot there before in like 2006 or something, 2008 or something like that. That year that all the gangsters was killing the Philly cops, that year. So yeah, it was crazy. It was a crazy year. So that's what I know this park as, right? Mm-hmm. I'm at the park. Of course, I'm keeping my eyes open. I'm surveilling the area and everything like that. A lady walks up to me and she said, "Ain't you Merch Life?"
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, who's asking? Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know how to respond. I'm in Philly. I don't know what you want. So I'm like, yeah. She's like, yeah, because I'm so glad that you're back posting stuff, because one of your impact meetings stopped me from committing suicide. Like, I really was about to off myself. And now I'm getting myself together. I'm making sure she said, I got my daughter with me. I'm filing for custody to get her back from DHS and all of this stuff. Like, her kid was in the system or whatever. Mm-hmm. And she was telling me what she went through caused that to happen. But she was like, after I lost my child, I was about to just give it up.
Wow.
And something you said, she said, that's her exact words were, one of your she said either talks, or she just worded it differently than I would word it.
Right.
But she said commentary. She used the word commentary. She said, one of your commentaries is what made me not want to throw my life away. And then she gave me this big, enormous hug. This hug was like 45 seconds long. And that right there is what made me say, yo, I got to keep going no matter what.
Yep. Right there. And that's
about me.
Power. No, it's not. No. And, I think one of the things that I have gained to, I guess, really get clear on with this thing called life is understanding that we experience things to tell about it. Like the reasons that we experience certain things in our life, whether we do it to ourselves, which 90% of it is our own decision-making skills. But either way, like, we are to tell our story. Now, does that mean you tell everything and you just telling all the business? No, that's not what that means. But what I am saying is that when you've experienced something and overcame something, I believe it is our duty to share that overcoming, that winning, that success story, because again, you don't know who else you're going to impact. And I don't believe that Allah, God, universe, however you want to call it, allowed us to experience those things in vain. Like, I don't go through the things that I went through just to keep it to myself. That would be silly. You know what I mean? But if I can say that I've overcome self-esteem issues, or if I can say that I've overcome whatever, then that to me is part of the journey of sharing it so someone else can see the power and the value of going through it themselves. So if I sat back and went through all my experiences and I keep it to myself, then that's just vanity. And that's not what we're supposed to be doing on this planet, is living in vain. So again, I say all that to say that whoever's listening, tell your story is the point. Tell your story, be empowered by your story, and don't shy away from it. You ain't got to tell everything. We don't have to have all the details, but the lessons, the things that we gain from it, I think is important for us to share with the next person. So that to me is also the value of being confident enough to write your book, and confident enough to go through the process. And the course alone, y'all, I'm gonna have my brother recap the course and what you get with the course, because that's just priceless. So tell the people what they get with your course, my friend. Uh-oh. We frozen? Oh no. Is my brother frozen? He might be frozen.
What's going on with the Wi-Fi here? Yo, we back? I'm good.
Oh, there you go. You good now.
Phew. I was saying I had to switch over the Wi-Fi's because for some reason the whole time you were just talking, it was like a animatronic Barney. It was like,
oh, that's great. That's cute.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully on the other end, I was good.
No. It was me. It was definitely me. It was me. Yeah. But you said, how can they access the course?
That too. Just recap what they get with the course. But yes, how do they access it as well? I know I dropped it in my description. So if you guys are on YouTube right now, it's in the description of YouTube. So just, highlight, cut and paste. But also just recap of what they get with the course.
Right. So for the $997, by the way, if you use the link that's at the bottom of this video, it's only $444. $444. So again, this is a 4-week course. Inside of the course, you learn how to conceptualize your book. So I'm gonna go through the modules of Guide 1, which is week 1. So writing with a purpose. In writing with a purpose, we figure out what your purpose is and what you're actually going to write about, right? And then we decide, number 2 is the ebook or paperback. That's when you figure out what type of book you want to actually write. Is it going to be an ebook? Is it going to be a paperback? And then you have the 30-second outline that teaches you how to get your thoughts on paper and out of your head. Once you get them out of your head, you're able to look at them from an aerial view instead of saying, oh, I got to remember this. Oh, I got to remember that. Oh, what about that part? No, it's all in front of you. So now you can say, well, let's put it here and move that there. And then you can Jenga the situation, right? And that's part 4, how to organize your book. And then we talk about number 5. In number 5, we talk about what is an ISBN. Module number 6 is how to transcribe your videos into a book, right? So we could literally take this video right here and make it another book if we chose to, right? And then number 7 is the proofreading 101. And I put the proofreading video and the proofreading lessons right after how to transcribe, because once you transcribe, you're just going to have a paper full of words. You still need to add punctuation. You need to put in grammar. You need to do all that type of stuff. And it might be some spelling, who knows, right? Because you might want to spell something incorrectly on purpose. People do that in books nowadays. It's called Ebonics, right? Get excited. So then you got guide number 2, how to obtain illustrations, how to resize your final copy, meaning if you want to have a 5x7, a 6x9, a 8x10, I show you how to get all of those different sizes and what the standard sizes of books are. So like, for example, an 8x10 is a children's book most of the time. A 6x9 is an informative or a novel. So it could be fiction or nonfiction, 6x9, right? And then a 5x7 is normally like one of these size books. It's normally a book that you see like on the back of the toilet in the bathroom or something. Right? You know how they got Psalms in 5x7? That's a 5x7.
Right.
Yeah. So then we got book cover creation. At this point, you've gotten to the point where you know what your size your book is going to be. So let's go ahead and design the cover. I don't actually go in and design the cover for you, although I can if you choose for that to happen. But I also show you how I would design the cover. I mean, the electronic tools that I use to actually design book covers. You get insights on that and how to use those. How to publish paperback, how to publish a ebook, and how to publish your hard copies, right? So I show you my process of publishing books and how you can do it for yourself too. With this course, to keep it a bean, to be 100,000% with you, you could start your own publishing company with this course. Get excited. And then guide number 3, which is week 3. Remember, this course is a 4-week long course. It's going to take you a week to get through all of that I just said. So week number 3 is how to license pre-written books. This is where we use the website Jim right here, the website PLR Hustle, right? Where they actually sell you books that are already written. And they're anywhere between $7 and $150, depending upon the content of the book. You can go in there, get a book and change it up, put your words in it, put your name in it. You can make your child the author of one of these books, put that thing on the market. And now their college fund is already being made before they can even manage their own money, right? It's so much game in here, man. And then you have how to properly launch your book. And we're talking about getting your book to a few people that dislike you and a few people that love you no matter what you do. The reason that I say do that when you're in the process of launching your book is because those people that dislike you, they're going to tell you the truth about your book.
Right.
Oh yeah, they're going to tell you the truth. Those people that love you no matter what, they're going to be the reviews that you need to sell your book because they're going to hype it up. They're going to be super dumb. This book is trash, but you know what? It's my guy, so I'm going to talk good about it. They're going to be the people that help you sell your book because now you got reviews. You know how when a movie comes out, they're like, it's the #1 movie in America. And you're like, how? It didn't even come out yet.
Right.
They do. They get somebody to watch it and then tell their opinion on it before it's even released.
So you like it over our head. Oh my gosh. All the movies are #1 seller before they come out.
Like, exactly. You like, it comes out on Friday. How is it #1 today?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So then you got how to create a lead magnet, and a lead magnet, email list, or landing page are all pretty much the same goal in mind. And that goal is to build your community of people that are already going to purchase things from you so that you can say, hey, y'all, since y'all like buying my stuff, since y'all like who I am, I got this book dropping on Saturday. Want to pre-order it now? The book is $20. But if you pay now, if you pay the $15 now, you get the book on Friday. So that's the lead magnet, email list, and landing page purpose, right? And then you have how to sell your book in stores. This is where I talk about getting on the phone with those private bookstores. This is where I talk about getting your book in Barnes and Nobles. This is where I talk about asking the doctor's office, the dentist's office, or anywhere that has a waiting room, hey, can I leave 3 copies of my book here for people to read? But there's also inside of your book a path for them to purchase a copy of this. So I've been in the doctors all day. My grandmom she got dementia or something, and we in here talking to the doctor. I happen to read this really good book, but I can't steal it. I can't just take it with me. What do you know? This guy's website is in the back of the book. This is another way to get your book in stores.
Yep. Love
and
it.
then how to sell your book in person. And with that, you get an actual copy of the Science of Winning, which teaches you how to sell physical products to anyone in any environment, right? And then week 4, oh, by the way, this course comes with 4 books. But then in week 4, you get how to sell your book online. You get how to create line journals, because you might want to have a journal that goes. So like if your book is like some type of coaching or some type of growth or some type of self-help, you're going to want a journal to go along with it so that people can mark their progress as they read your book, right? And then you got how to create workbooks, because you might want the same thing if you have a fitness book or a health book. A workbook is, did you take what was in my book and actually use it? Okay, then write down how the process worked for you. That's what a workbook will be. And then you got the path to 3K in 30 days, which is the final module in guide number 4, man. So again, it's only $444 for the next 10 people that use the link that's at the bottom of this video.
That's game right there, y'all. Y'all better take advantage of the I'm not even gonna call it a discount. Take advantage of the price point, because that's valuable right there. So y'all better take advantage. 10 people only. I'm tempted to get the course myself and give it to my son, have him start working on his book. So you may see a transaction come through, my brother. So we have a few more minutes left. I'll have one more question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
So you are a content creator and you've got, 3 days or 30K, all the titles of the books and all the things, right? So what would you say? This is a question that I want to ask, I think, anybody that I meet. But what would you say if you got children? So you're talking to children. What would you say are the top 3 areas or topics or genres that young people should focus on? And this is around entrepreneurship, education, knowledge, any of that. And we talked, and I talked about how this is a digital world. It's 2022. Everything is content-based, internet, social media. So if you're talking to your children, what are kind of 3 focus areas that you think or that you teach for them to focus on? Because there's a lot of distractions out here.
Yeah. Self-development is definitely the number one. So self-development, and that's because anything that you're teaching the child, no matter what age they're at, when you make it a game, it's more susceptible for them to learn rather than you actually teaching it. So I'm a big Marvel fan, as you can see my shirt. I like animes like Dragon Ball Z. I like I like Pokemon. I like those types of things, right? And so do my children.
Right.
The reason they like them, I think, is because that I love them so much, and I exemplify that all the time. Like, we going to see the Dragon Ball movie tonight. I'm not playing. It just came out. You feel me? It just came out on the 19th. You know how excited I am about it. So I teach self-development when it comes to my boys, because I'm like, you see how Goku went from not being able to beat Raditz all the way up to fighting Xeno? Like, you got to be able to develop. If you don't develop yourself, first of all, there's always going to be somebody that's bigger or stronger than you. And that person is your segue to becoming bigger and stronger than yourself. The best thing about Goku, and he's the main character of Dragon Ball, if you didn't know, is that he never backs down from a challenge. Even if he know this man going to murder him, like he's actually going to die. Goku has died about 30 times. So he's a fictional character, though. He's
coming back. He's coming back. Right.
Yeah, it's a cartoon. He got different ways to come back to life. But anyway, even if he knows he's going to die, Goku will fight to grow, because he is a martial arts enthusiast, right? He's not a fighter as in, I want to cause problems or I want to cause conflict. He's a fighter as in, fighting is my life and I intend to get stronger with every fight, right? So I use self-development in a lot of things when it comes to cartoons and it comes to Marvel and stuff like that. So I would say self-development is the number one way. The second way is getting them to tell you what it is that they want out of life. Now, they may not know what they truly want out of life, but they're going to have an answer for you. So I would ask those children, I would ask them and say, well, what do you want to do? Not when you grow up, but right now. What do you want to do right now? And think of it as, I'm already grown and I can do anything in the world.
Right.
What do you want to do right now? And that's how you get that big answer out of those children, because they're going to tell you, like, yo, I want to be an oceanographer. I want to be an astronaut. I want to go to the moon. I want to sit on the International Space Station and see what Earth looks like from space. Like, I want to do that. And you don't have to put it in their mind as if it's something they can't achieve until they're an adult, because they can achieve it now, especially with their imagination.
Right.
And the third way that I would say, did you ask for 3 ways? Because I definitely got 3 ways.
I did.
Oh, I did. All right, cool. So the third way,
no, you good.
I was like, wait, where does 3 coming from? But the third way that I would say, that you could utilize to get, to get children, I guess, on board when it comes to writing, when it comes to being creative in general. The third way is the money. The third way is, you keep asking me for Robux.
Man,
I'm about to show you how to get your own Robux money
every day.
Because that ignited a whole nother lane in my children's lives. When I told them they could make their own money, they like, how? So now when I get content sent to me, I have 2 children on payroll and 1 child that's working on it. So I got 2 children that send me videos that I could recreate, or I could download, put my tag on, and then push, like, how we do with digital real estate, go get the relevant content. And use it. So I got 2 children that actually send me content, and they are paid according to the video. So if I can use the video, I'll pay you $3 per video, and I'll pay you $1 per still picture. $1 per still picture, and your limit for the week, your limit is $50 a week, because it's 2 of y'all. I'm only going to put out $100 a week.
Right.
You 12 years old. What you going to do with $100 anyway? 50 is cool.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then you really think about it. They've never reached their maximum limit. They've never sent me enough videos to get the whole $50.
No.
They get what they're satisfied with. They like, all right, Goku just came out on Fortnite. I need $20 to buy Goku and Vegeta skin and the Kamehameha wave. Let me send my dad like 5 videos real quick. And it works for everyone. You're getting paid. I'm getting content.
Wait a minute. I gotta pause you. You just revolutionized my parenting. Okay, let me tell you something. That right there, because you don't know how many arguments and fights that I go through, because I get so tired of him scrolling. But now I'm gonna give him purpose with it. Oh, thank you for that. Look, the interview is over. We're done. That, like, you don't even know how much you just saved so much gray hair in my life.
Yeah, and tell them, like, hey,
because honestly, I've been trying. No, this is real talk, y'all. I've been trying to find the balance of, I know that this is the world that we're in, right? And I see some behaviors play out right in my house, and I'm like, where do you get that from? Oh, I was watching TikTok, or and I'm like, it drives me nuts, right? Because I'm trying to protect my baby and his mind, but it's so quick, that influence. So now with this, a little bit of a direction and controlled environment, you can scroll, because I need this so that you can get paid, so you can buy your little skins on Fortnite. I love it. I love it. Thank you.
Skins be killing us, man. Them skins be killing us.
Man, every day.
Don't let them have Cash App. They just start requesting without even asking you vocally. It's like, bro, he was hoping I hit that button by accident, huh?
So I'm gonna tell you, I ended up getting, and this is a plug for anybody, but you got to be careful. So I bought my son. He has the green light card, the green light Visa card.
The green dot joint, yeah.
Well, green light. So it's the kid.
It's the one designed for children. Okay.
Yeah, it's a debit card. So that he has his own card up on his own account on Xbox. So he can overspend if he wants to, or underspend, or get declined. But it's his card, not mine. And then what I can do is transfer money from my account to his. And you can also add chores So I'm not trying to promote them, y'all, but it's a nice system. You can put chores on there. So it's an app, basically. He goes to the app. Oh, I need to clean my room today. I need to do the bathroom. I need to water the garden. So you can put chores attached to the fee, or, the money that comes in. So that's helpful too.
That's dope. I like that idea. It sounds like I need to recreate that app and call it Merch Mob or Merch Money or something. That's a good idea. I like that.
There you go. I'm gonna send you the link so you can see it and recreate it, so I can give you the money, because there's, I'm sure, a small transaction fee. But I love that. I asked you that because I think, again, as a father, circling all the way back to your books, as a father who's involved, who has children, I think it's so important, one, to elevate your voice, but more importantly, having these constant conversations about, what do our children need? I think a lot of times our parents, and sometimes we're overwhelmed and we're trying to keep up with this generation, and a lot of times we just turn our back. Honestly, we turn our back because we can't understand, and we just let society, TV, and Fortnite raise our children, because it's an unknown we can't connect with our babies. And so I just love hearing how you broke that all the way down, so that it gives people just an example or some insight on how to engage with their children a little bit differently, and like I said, I'm not the best mother by any means. And I know that there's pieces that I still need to learn from, so you just gave me so much game just on those two pieces right there. So I appreciate that.
Yes, man. Sure. I appreciate you bringing it out of me, man. This interview was awesome. Y'all, if y'all in here, subscribe to this channel. This is a really, really good channel. You're going to learn a lot here. Imani Muhammad, the Art of Living podcast, ladies and gentlemen, give it up.
Yes. I appreciate you all. Make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, buy the book, go to Traveling Pillar. Let me run this by for y'all one more time. You can get a free ebook if you want. If you text the number 503-433-6332, get a free copy of my ebook and so much more. Any last words, Merch Life Jay? How can they contact you? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Man, I'm available on all the social media platforms, right? But my number, if you want my number, you could text me right now. And if you text the book emoji, then I'm gonna give you a call. We could talk about that payment plan for that course. I know the course is a little bit expensive. So, if you want to down payment the situation, we can do that too. My number is 267-213-4742. That's 267-213-4742. I'm Merch Life Jay on all social media platforms. Get excited, inbox me, DM me. Somebody just text me. Oh man, you already know. And I love y'all, man. Thank y'all for coming through, man. Appreciate that.
Appreciate you too. Thank you. May God bless you, and we will talk soon. Y'all know what it is. Art of Living. Get the book. Stay focused, and remember, find your purpose, live your purpose, and do good while you're here. Peace.